Good afternoon, everybody. I'm John Crawford, and I'm blind. Okay, so today I just want to apologize. Again, I didn't make a video last night. I was very busy. I had a friend from out of town call in, and we had to catch up, and we were up very late on the phone. So we had a good time, but it's time to get back to business. So I thought I would make two videos today if I can. No promises, because this weekend is Easter weekend, 2025, and one of the things that my wife and I have to do is prepare the music for church. We're Catholic, and we go to the Easter Vigil, which is probably the longest mass of the entire liturgical year, and it requires a lot of musical preparation. So we're having a good time with that, but we're also very busy. So let's talk about what I want to talk about today, which is going to be my experiences with audio description. Okay, so there's a guy here on TikTok. He's a really great creator, and he creates videos about all kinds of really neat things. Some of the videos that I like that he does talk about the various audio descriptions for the various streaming services, and he talks about the good and the bad of some of those. So great stuff out there. I have started using audio description, and so I am finding that my first reaction to audio description is, wow, this is really cool. I never really thought about it. It's been around for a long time. They started the initiative of audio description. I remember one of the first things I personally ever saw was on cable TV when they were showing It's a Wonderful Life. One year, somewhere in about the mid-90s, I think it was a version of It's a Wonderful Life with audio description. And then I started seeing it on public television. So that was really cool. But in general, I didn't feel that I needed audio description. Anything that I couldn't see, I picked up in context from the conversation. The one major frustration with watching TV when you have a visual impairment of any kind, though, is subtitles when people are speaking another language. That can be really, really annoying. A lot of times you can pick up the context of what's going on in the story and you're not really missing anything, but sometimes those conversations in movies and television can be crucial. And if you don't speak the language, you don't pick up the subtleties of what's happening. So my experience today was to turn on Disney Plus's audio description. And the first thing my wife and I did was we started watching some of the old cartoon movies. And there were some things that even my wife, who is also legally blind, by the way, said the audio descriptor would point out something. And then she said, I never knew that was happening. I never saw that before. So we're picking up little things like that. And then I was watching Star Wars. And I remember there was A New Hope, Star Wars for A New Hope. We were watching that, and there was this conversation between Greedo, who was Jabba the Hutt's bounty hunter, and Han Solo in the cantina. As he's leaving, if you all remember, he was talking to him and saying, are you going somewhere? And he's like, hey, man, I got Jabba's money and all of that. So I always kind of gathered from Han Solo's end, he was speaking English, thank goodness. So I didn't feel I was missing anything. But there were some subtleties to that conversation. He's like, hey, you going somewhere? And he's like, I've got Jabba's money. I'm just heading out to see him. And he's saying, it's a little bit late for that, bud. And I didn't pick up on those subtleties until we were listening to audio description. So my first initial reaction to audio description is, I'm all for it, because I missed out on some subtleties within that conversation and the subtleties in the conversation between Han Solo and Jabba. So I'm really grateful that they have done that for the sake of the subtitles, because a lot of us in the blind and visually impaired community get tired of having to pause the movie and get up close to the screen, or hope that we've got somebody there who is patient enough to stop and read to us what's going on the screen when the subtitles pop up. So my initial reaction to audio description is actually very positive. I'm liking it very much. I'm going to see what some of the other streaming services do for audio description. If you want to know how to enable audio description, most of the videos in most of the streaming services have a little thing that you tap. You tap the video, and then there's a menu up at the top where it talks about the captions. And in the captions menu, most of the time you also see audio description, and it says English. At least that's been my experience with it. The one place where I have found that I can't seem to make audio description come up, even though I have turned it on and selected it, is Pluto TV. Pluto TV is a free TV app that a lot of us like. It has a lot of old TV shows and a lot of game shows and just a different variety of stuff that you can stream for free. You can turn on audio description, but I haven't found anything where any audio description is read. I'd also like to say that a very close friend of mine who is totally blind recently went to the movies, and she didn't know audio description was a thing. You can go to the movie theater and you can get a headset. You can sit and listen to the audio description without disturbing other people in the movie. So she told me that that was a really, really great time for her. She had never done that before, and she had a really good time with that. I think accessibility in movie theaters varies from theater to theater and from chain to chain. So when you're going to the movies and actually paying for a ticket, make sure that you ask about those accessibility needs. I think they have something for closed captioning. I know they have audio description in some theaters, but don't be embarrassed to ask. That's another thing about accessibility that I just want to throw in here real quick. If you have an accessibility need, whether it's a Braille menu or an audio description at a movie or anything like that, don't be embarrassed to ask for that stuff. That's what it's there for. You are a part of this world, and you deserve to have all of the tools that are made available to you. I want everyone to have a very happy Easter weekend and take care of yourselves. We'll talk to you later. Bye.